Good morning, Billy. Midlife indeed. Good morning, Billy. Midlife indeed. Billy Midlife indeed. I'm singing a song at tea to Billy Midlife indeed. RX Pops in Marquee Z. We're all here at Pops with tea. You're out of control, Pops. Knock it off. All right, all right, all right. Say hello to each other this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hugs. Hugs and lights. Hugs and lights. RX. RX, I got a question for you. Hold on. See the size of that RX? You and I both know that's a rail car, right? Tiny little fella. RX, that's too tiny to try to, is that too tiny to put graffiti on? Can you do it? Is that too tiny? Okay. I'm thinking it's a little on the small side. I'll just weather it, rusty, and just make it look like an old rusty car. I can do that. You can do something with it? Do you really think so? A little something? RX, I'm gonna send you 2 cars. I'm sending you 2 little guys. Do something. Even if it's just a splash of color or something. Where in the miniature it looks. I think you could do something. And then you'll be on the layout. Right? I'm gonna send you a couple. See what you could gin up. As soon as I got them, I'm like, these need graffiti. But they're so tiny. It's Z scale. Every inch in this world is 220 inches in our world. 1 inch, 220 inches. So if that car is 1 inch long, it's a little more. It's a 220 inch long car. $220 how many feet is that? Who's got their calculator out? 12 into 220. What's it, 20 times? Scale, nerdy, it's Z scale. Z as in the last letter of the alphabet. Scales are interesting. This is my thing. This is the smallest scale I've ever worked in. 20 feet, that's what I figured, 20 feet. Good job, Mr. Phillips. Michael Allen's coming in at 19.3. Mr. Phillips coming in at 24, 20 feet 4. Oh boy, oh kids. So I'm gonna need you to show proof. There's a smaller scale, nerdy, it's called T scale. T scale. And it's half again this. So it's like 144, 1440. I have that. Z scale. I'll give you an example of Z scale. Give me a Z scale. Excuse me. This is a work shed in Z scale. Z. No, excuse me. I take that back. T scale. That's Z. As you can see. Yeah, nerdy, that's the key, is the tiny sizes. Okay, it's a Vicodin. Actually, it is. It's therapy. Mike Wallen's corrected himself at 18.3. Okay. Okay. So how it works is your Lionel trains that you see around the Christmas tree when you're a kid, the standard railroad and model scale, standard scale is 0. Like O scale, they call it O scale. They start at 0, but it's real. The numbers are, with O scale, you're at 48 inches in our world is 1 inch in O scale. 41 to 48. Then there's the next scale, is S scale. Well, let me back up. There's O scale, and then there's HO. You guys see HO all the time at your railroad shops and everything. HO is probably the most popular train size and model size. HO means half O. So they took O at 48 inches, and they said HO is going to be 84 inches. A little less than half. HO's 84 inches to 1. Then people were saying there should be a scale in between O and HO. You get more detail. But O takes up a lot of space. If we're trying to build a train layout or something like that, you have to have a huge space for O. The smaller the scale, the more space and opportunity, but it's harder to model and it's much harder to find stuff. Billy D, it's too early for math. Your next scale in between O and HO, Vegas, knock it off. I'm not repeating that, is S. And that's midway between O and HO. The next one down from HO is N. N. And N is I think it's like 160 inches to 1 inch. Then there's Z. That's the one that I'm doing. All my layouts and stuff are all in Z scale. And then there's a T scale that I just showed you the little guy of. I feel like I bored half of you, and it's too early for math. And some of you thought I was calling you a working girl. I was explaining a railroad scale. HO. Okay, I'm not talking about any particular occupation. Okay. All right. I won't talk about that anymore. Anyways, it's my thing. Can you tell? Good morning, you guys. I'm warming up. I had sad news this morning, so I'm brushing it off with your guys' help. RX, over the course of the next couple of weeks, I'm going to order a set of these cars. Take about a week and a half to get them. And I'll mail them to you. And then you do what you can with them at your leisure. And if I like them, I'm going to love them. Of course, I'll have to send you a commission. Okay, or when I send them to you, it will be in a commission package. Okay? Good morning, Waz. Hey, you guys didn't lock the door. Hey, what happened? Cool, RX. Hey, what happened? You guys didn't lock the door. Literally, didn't I tell you to lock the door when I didn't see Wazzy here by 9:10? We didn't. I said lock the door, and all of a sudden, Wazzy's sneaking in. Next time I ask you to lock the door, please. Oh, never mind. Throw the key away. We don't need a lock. Exactly, Tim. That's exactly what I want. It's going to be awesome when I go to the national show and everyone's going to look at the little cars and go, who did that? And I'm going to stand there and go, I must be impeccable. It wasn't me. Herbie gave him a hall pass. All right. Hey, hey, Herbs, you're the guy with the wrench. If passes are being given out, they're going to be given out by you. And Derek Anderson can give passes too. Okay. Michael, that's exactly what I need is those Chinese rice. I have some things here. I'll show you this one. Of course, I have to have a flatbed truck, right? I have to have a flatbed truck hauling stuff around the job sites and helping me build. I like building, so we have to have a flatbed truck. Am I right? So we're making a flatbed truck here. Haven't painted it, but that's going to be a challenge. Okay. Kind of cool. Kind of crazy. That's a big rig. So I've got all these, is it a Peterbilt? That's a good question. Sure looks like one, doesn't it? Sure looks like one by the front grill. Look at the front grill on that guy. Pops, how old are you? I'm staying young. I'm staying young. The more my brain works and creates and creates and works, the healthier it is for me. I know it. I know how to self-medicate. I know how to self-medicate. Who likes those Swedish fish? You know those Swedish fish? You know what I'm talking about? The red looking, and now they come in different colors. But Jonathan Jonathan, I like some Swedish fish. I'm thinking, nerdy, of course you do. Look, nerdy, you can make them and infuse them and stuff. Swedish fish aren't bad, are they? Not bad at all. Do you like Oreos? How about Oreos? Anybody like an Oreo? Yeah, I'm okay with an Oreo too. I'm not as big an Oreo fan anymore. I like the thin Oreos now. Have you seen the thin ones? Thin or better. Where the chip part, the wafer, it's thin. It's like half the size of the cookie. It's perfect. I'm a thin to win Oreo guy. 100%. Anybody likes the thins? The thin ones are delicious. Shawanda, I knew it. We're going to have an Oreo night. Okay, Paigey. What's this? What's this? Girls are liking the thins. Okay, Jash is going thin to win. Yep, thin. I just go thin a little. I mean, still, if you find a thick one once in a while, okay, I'll sacrifice. But I sure wish this was thin. Okay, so here, thin mints are amazing too. No question about it. Best Girl Scout cookie in the whole world is that when they went and found that mint cookie. How do you like this idea? In 2016, seems like most of my rando factos are from back then. Okay? In 2016, a limited edition of Swedish fish Oreo cookies was released by Nabisco. Swedish fish Oreo cookies. Instead of the regular filling, they put Swedish fish flavored cream. I'm okay with one. I'm actually okay with Nerdy's co-signing for them. Nerdy, Badgie, it does. It sounds, I'm good. Give me a Swedish fish. Love it. A thin Nabisco, I'm down. Why did you have to put the, what? What were you thinking? There's a bunch of you standing up going, okay, I'll try one. I actually love it when companies come up with new ideas, whether they work or not. Whether they work or not, they're going for it. They're giving it a whirl. So there's nothing, that's the part you like about it. And for me, I like the fact that they're coming up with new ideas, such as this Australian guy. I think Jesus Christ in Australia may know him. They seem like they're the same type of people. His name is Mark Murray. Mark Murray's he's Australian, but he's forward thinking. He realized that there's a need in the world for a ham dog bun. So he's created it. When you want to eat a hot dog and a hamburger together, you need a special bun. Your friends there in Australia, they figured it out. I need a picture. I need a picture. I should have found a picture. What are they thinking? You're a college kid. You're kind of hungry. College kids don't have time to stop and make something to eat, and they're busy. They're studying. Yeah, sure. They're working on their examination papers or the cake party. They just don't have time to eat. So we flash back to when they were babies. When they were babies, they really didn't feed themselves. So if they're going to go to college, let's work it out to where they're kind of having the same experience they had when they were a baby. In 1974, Gerber Baby Products marketed meals in a jar. Meals in a jar. Wait, like creamed beef and beef burgundy. They were aimed at college students and young adults that didn't have time to stop and make something to eat. Oh, God, Jesus. Let me open a jar of beef burgundy from Gerber's. I'm studying tonight. Oh, God. First of all, what would the dorm smell like? That's just my first thought when I heard that. I was like, this is going to be a terrible smelling dorm. And if we can get past that, which it doesn't seem like they did because they dropped the plan. That's crazy. 6 packs of beer. 6-pack. When did they decide let's put 6 together? Why wasn't it a 4-pack? Why didn't they go 8-pack? This is somewhere in the same realm as 8 hot dogs, 10 buns, I think. Who came up with the first idea of going 6? What if it was a 3-pack? I can understand it being a An even number because you want the pack to be balanced when you carry it. Okay. Cleanies, because you need a minimum of 6 to catch a buzz, Pops. I didn't know that. That's the reason? No. You all said it. Because that's what it takes, Pops. Really? That's the who decided that? There was a testing agency. Like, let's average this out. How many was it gonna take to get a good buzz on? 6. We all agree on 6. No way. Well, I'm 4, man. I'm cleaning. I'd be in the 4-pack range. Okay, if I'm on the testing panel, we'd be stuck with 4-packs. You'd have to get 2 to get 6. You'd have to get. Oh my goodness. Only Cleany. Cleany's got snoop tables, and now he's on the testing committee. It takes 6, Pops, I'm telling you. Big Mike's in there, too. Big Mike's gone minimum 6, Pops. Okay. Corona only, Herbs. Only. I'm a Corona guy. But let's go back to the 6-pack. Why? Did you guys never think of these things till you watch tea? That's when it starts to come to you. You're like, never thought of that. Why? How come? Why is it 6? Nobody knows. The truth is nobody knows. What we do know, Tony's like, Pops, if I'm on the committee, it's a 24-pack. Tony will be crawling. Okay, like, I think it's 24, sir. Like, you're kicked off the committee, bro. Okay, a 6-pack was designed for 2 reasons: how ugly your date is, 2 for me, 2 for her. Oh my God, Michael Allen's figured it out. Okay, I'm out of control. What happens every morning here with you guys? You guys make me out of control. Okay? I got a cold. I got a cough and everything. And what do? I come here out of control. A ham dog shaped bun. Let's go. We don't know why they decided 6. We don't. We weren't in on the committee decision. We weren't there, Cleany. But what we do know, guess this one. Guess this one. Instead of me telling you, you guys tell me. Who was the first brewing situation to sell beer in a 6-pack? And I can tell you it's the 1940s. Who was the first company or the first brand? Which first brand? 6-pack in the 1940s. I'm looking at it right here. No. Nobody's right so far. Who was the first one? No. Greeny got it. Greeny, when he puts up PBR, it's not professional bull riding. That's Pabst Blue Ribbon. Greeny, I need your address. Greeny, you're going to win a small prize coming to you from the Detroit Mush Lab because you got it right. Pabst Blue Ribbon. Pabst Blue Ribbon was the first one to figure out that we need 6. I really thought Clean Grow would get that. But Green Table. Greeny, I'm writing your name down here because I need to get your address from you. I'm gonna make a little package, set it to the side. As soon as I get your address, I'll put a label on it. Boop, send that off because you got it right. That was a pretty good one. Wendy's, right? The guy that started Wendy's, Dave Thomas. Everybody's seen Dave Thomas on the old commercials and stuff. Pretty brilliant dude. He originally worked for KFC. And he was looking around KFC. He goes, I think I can do restaurant franchise stuff successfully too. And he did. But this I didn't know. When he was at KFC, he's credited, Dave Thomas from Wendy's is credited for designing the KFC bucket. I love that bucket. I get excited when I see that bucket. Not a big fan of their chicken anymore, but could you imagine that? I'm going to design your greatest logo cool thing. I'm going to go start a little girl with strawberry hair. He sounds like a pretty smart dude. Okay, that's pretty cool. An indoor farm. Do you guys think indoor farming is a good idea? Indoor farming, I love the whole concept, clearly. Especially when you see microgreens and stuff like that, the way they're growing. And then now, because of some of the processes, they can really speed it up. You know what I mean? We're faking nature out in these indoor grows. We're faking them out and pumping it. There's an indoor farm in Japan. Okay. I would expect a whole bunch of them, right? I think those Japanese people are like so forward thinking on their harvesting and cultivating and stuff like that, right? There's an indoor farm that was created in Japan that has the ability to create 10,000 heads of lettuce in a day, using 99% less water than an outdoor farm. $10,000 heads of lettuce in a day. I'm wondering if they mean in a cycle. Like they can harvest 10,000 because they have another 10,000 right behind it growing. And another 10,000. So maybe they have 100,000 going, but they can cycle out 10,000 a day. Because there's no way it could just pop and be a head of lettuce in one day. Is it? Is that even possible? This one needs more examination. But I would bet it's a cycle grow situation. That's the harvesting that they're able to pull out of their farm per day. But they've got it backed up by the stuff coming. It has to be, right, Cleanie? A cycle grow. But that's exciting. You know, the most exciting part about it, clearly the volume is insane, but 99% less water. 99%. And Nerdy's going, but how big are the lettuces? If they're the size of what do they call those things we hate? Brussels sprout. If it's the size of a Brussels sprout, well, maybe. I'm going to have to investigate that because that sounds pretty interesting. Okay, I'm going to read a couple more of these and then we're going to be done because we have work to do. How many tomatoes should you get out of a nice, healthy tomato plant? Probably true, Cleanie. It probably won't taste anything close to a good soil-grown any kind of vegetable. But let's tomato plant. Think you get a solid 100 out? What do you think? A few dozen. RX if there's Z-scale lettuce here. Now he's thinking in terms of Z-scale because he has to paint it. How many do you think you could get? Depends on the size of the tomato, of course, right? And the size of the tomato plant, of course. But let's just think. I got a plant in my backyard, tomato plant. By the end of my season, I'm going to pull 30, 40, 50, maybe. Do I think I'm going to pull 1,000? Do I think I'm going to pull 1,000? No. No. The world's record, the world record for the most tomatoes harvested from a single plant in 1 year is held by a tomato tree. That already tells us something. Tomato tree, it's not plant. Tomato tree in Epcot's Land Pavilion in Florida. It had a 1 year harvest of, wait for it, a 1 year harvest of 32,000 tomatoes. 32,000 tomatoes, which weighed a total of 1,150 pounds. I'm going to give the tree. Tomato tree. It's not even a tomato plant. Okay? That's crazy. 32,000 pieces of, I don't care if they're Z-scale. That's crazy. Z-scale lettuce. That's nuts. I like it. I like it. I know they're forcing, probably doing all kinds of stuff to get there, but it's just working with nature and seeing what our limits are, how we can work with it, what are the companionship abilities. There's just so much involved, and it's actually outstanding. That's a lot of ketchup. Am I right? Let's get talking. Yesterday, we left ourselves. Who's convinced here, after the last few days of what we've been talking about, who's convinced that fresh air exchange is incredibly important in your mushroom cultivation success? Has anybody found themselves convinced? If you weren't convinced, or even if you were before, are you convinced? Would you agree? Are you convinced or would you agree? FAE, how important it is. And it's so important that we've continued to talk about it, right? And even though there's two more very, very vital ingredients we need to cover, and that's humidity and lighting. Temperature is going to be a solid 74. Let's just remember that. But I'm going to show you guys, before we move on to humidity and the importance of humidity, we've really worked FAE over enough for you guys to all understand how to do it, what it means, how important getting fresh oxygen to our echo chamber is, making sure we're moving the CO2 out because it's poisonous, replacing it with good, fresh oxygenated air, and making sure that we keep our humidity and temperature levels up the whole time, okay? Here's a quick example of if you want to set up an auto system, and you can use just about any, let's say, closet. I tend to recommend a grow tent. The same, those solar, what are they? I forget some of the good brands because I haven't bought a tent in a few years. But they make these beautiful grow tents for marijuana growing, indoor growing. So that's all I want, is one of those tents. And usually I want it to be 48 wide by 24 deep by 72 inches. Vivo Sun, that's the one we look at here. I think most of mine are Vivo Sun. They make a cheaper version where they're leakier. The Vivo Sun do a nice job of maintaining the air and the temperatures inside that chamber. Okay. And you don't have to go out and buy a brand new one. They're on the Craigslist every day, all day. In almost every area of the United States, somebody was trying to do a grow or finished up, and they've moved on to other things, and they've got a tent sitting in their garage. and it's for sale. We like to use them if you're doing an auto tent setup, the one that I'm going to be recommending here. They have a Martha tent setup out there, okay? And this is the one that's being sold by North Spore. I'm not going to be talking bad about another company and its products specifically. So please don't think that I'm representing anything negative about North Spore. What I wanted to show you was pictures, because they have some good pictures here, of what a Martha tent looks like. Some people will use a Martha tent for the fruiting time. A Martha tent is simply this. It's more or less a waterproof tent. It's made out of plastic and it has racks inside that are close to waterproof. And instead of having to put your mushrooms in tubs, monotubs, you could actually raise your mushrooms on trays, cakes on trays out in the open. And the Martha tent itself is considered the whole monotub. And the way the Martha tents are typically set up is they'll have a mister, and the mister will have some kind of a timer, and it'll set out a mist that's going to mist through the tent, and that's going to keep the humidity up. And there's a drip tray at the bottom of the tent to catch all this water that's going to come down. And then they also try to control the temperature with the heater, and they also try to pump in air with a kind of a pump, filtered pump. Here's exactly what we're looking at. This is a Martha tent, where if you'll notice, all of the mushrooms are growing outside of tubs, right? And they're on these open racks. And at the top of this is being pumped in the humidity through a mister. And then we're also pumping in this system right here. Has a HEPA filter in it. So it's filtering out any of the air that's in here. So the air that's coming through and in is going through a HEPA filter. Okay? I have a real operational, in theory, this is a great tent. I have operational issues with it because guaranteed one of those trays goes bad, the whole tent's bad, every tray in it. Whereas if I'm working with, I'm going to take a tent like this, but it's going to be one of those Vivos, son, and I'm going to put in a rack. And they sell a rack that's exact same size as the tent itself when I said 24 by 48 by 72. Okay? And then I don't put anything on the bottom at all, and I'll show you why. And then on each of these shelves in the tray, in the tent that I'm recommending, you can put up to 3 of those Cadillac monotubs. You can put 3 per level. So I would have 3 monotubs here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then this part's not there. So I can have up to 9 monotubs in something close to the same size without any of the risk. Every one of those 9 monotubs is also inside its own huge monotub. So I'm getting outside contaminations, shielding, and each of the tubs itself is a shield. And then all I have to do is maintain the tubs instead of one huge chamber. My experience, because I have tried running the Martha tubs years ago. I did try running the Martha tents years ago because it looked like a good idea. Your cakes get soggy. The ones at the top get more mist than the ones at the bottom. The water running down, the rivulets running down, sometimes doesn't get caught by your drip tray. Your drip tray gets full and you didn't realize it. It starts stagnating. You're spending all this time cleaning your drip tray. They're a very my experience, my personal experience is they look great, they're conceptually a good idea. It may work well for a one-off, but it's not a very great way to set yourself up for long-term success. I hate to say that, and I hate to burst anybody's bubble. And again, please understand that I'm giving you my own opinion. I'm with Herbie too. My system never includes a humidifier. Humidifiers are very untrustworthy. They sound great. When I first started, I have 3 humidifiers downstairs in my lab right now, and I've probably given 2 away because I kept looking for the perfect humidifier that was going to give the right amount of mist, and it worked off of this, and it would be the volume of that. And all it was because I was too lazy to make sure that my tubs were misted. So I'm looking for the perfect humidifier. There isn't one. Okay? And it's going to end up you're going to end up spending a lot of time trying to come up with that balance. And in these small grows like that, it won't work. Okay? I like what Herbie's saying. Pay attention to him. He's correct. It's too damp. And it just doesn't work well. But you want to do it because, hey, I want an auto system. If I could just go auto system, man, all I have to do is have my own humidifier. Your humidifier is your mist gun. Your humidifier is your eye when your tubs are getting dry. That's it. Let me show you the simplest setup you can possibly have, okay? You've got your VivaSun tent. Again, I like to see it 48 by 24 by 72. Pretty standard size. And then they sell racks at Home Depot or lots of other places that's the exact size to fit inside of here. I get a small digital heater. Remember that we also already had a colonizing tent. Hold on. Let me make sure. We had a picture. That's okay. We had a picture of the colonizing tent. Colonizing tent was already this. And it had the digital heater here. And we made sure, and we also want a thermometer here. This thermometer is what we're reading. This thermometer, we want it to read right around 74 degrees, ambient temperature for the inside of your tent. This digital heater, the reason we want a digital heater, and we leave it on this rack down here all by itself, so it isn't giving more heat anywhere else to the bottom, and it's floating heat because hot air rises. And if I need this 74 to be 74, and this is 72, I might have to jack that up. And if this is at 78, and this is at 76, then I gotta bring this down. So I fiddle with this to get this at 74. I don't rely on the digital amount on this digital, because even if my digital amount's completely accurate, that's not the temperature I care about. The temperature I care about is the temperature of the tent and the tubs that are in it, okay? So then I'm gonna have 2 timers. I'm gonna have a timer with a 6-inch fan. Usually I wanna see this fan on the outside of my tent. And you know these tents, these VivaSun tents, they give you a sleeve. There's like a sleeve for incoming and outgoing air. It's not a bad idea to use it on the outside and tape over the fan with a small HEPA filter, but it's still absolutely not necessary. My setup is I just take one of these 6-inch grow fans. I clip it to the top of my my tent, and I aim it at the back wall, sort of into a corner. So I know that my timer, this is gonna go on every 4 hours for 10 minutes. And my timer, every 4 hours, I'm gonna get a pulse of air through this tent that's gonna be cyclonic, and it's gonna work its way through the tent if I point it at an angle towards the back wall and a corner. So every 4 hours, I'm gonna get this burst of fresh air blowing through the tent. My other timer is gonna be set for an overhead light, and the overhead light is gonna go on every 12 hours. 12 hours on, 12 hours off. So I have a timer, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. I have a timer to go on every 15 minutes for 15 minutes every 4 hours. I have 9 tubs in here. And once a day, I'm going to go check them, even though I've got an automated system. And all that automated system did was keep me from having to go lift the lid and fan every tub every 4 hours. It gave me that break. But I still have to go back, and I'm going to go look at every one of those tubs in a 1 hour, in a 1 day period. I'm going to open up each one, make sure there's nothing green or contaminated. Say hello, give it a hug. Mist the sides if it needs it, if they're looking dry. And then when I put it back into the tent, I'm going to shift the location. It'll start out in spot A if we have 9 spots. If it starts out in spot 1, I'm going to move it to 2 when I put it back. And 9's going to move up to 1. And this one, and slowly each day, it'll occupy a different position inside the tent. Each one of those tubs will occupy a different position out of the 9 positions. And if you have less than 9 that you're running, that's okay too. Just move your tubs around each day inside the tent to occupy different levels and different positions, because they're going to get a little different air pulls. They're going to get a little bit different temperature. Each day, it's almost like they're living out in the real world. They're getting treated just a little bit different by the outside world's conditions, rather than the same static conditions day after day after day after day, and you hope that they're good. Auto Grow Center. That's the Auto Grow setup. For the tent, I can buy a tent for $25. I can buy a clip fan. Let's say they're $20. Okay, that's $45. 2 timers. You can buy a pack of timers for $10. We're looking at less than $50 right now. And the digital heater is going to be your most expensive thing. Good digital heater is about $70. But you should already have one for your colonizing tent too. Okay? Any questions on that? Any questions on that, seriously? Fly a couple questions at me. I have about 3 minutes that we can go. Continue talking about this. FAE and auto sense. Tent prices have gone up, Mr. Phillips. Okay. Again, you're not doing this to start. To start, you don't need any of this business. This is when you're like, hey man, I'm pumping tubs, and I don't want to have to go wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I've learned that phase. Okay, I definitely don't recommend that you start out with an automated center. You're never going to learn all of the intricacies of what's happening during each growth phase. So good morning, Lotta. Glad to see you, dear. Anybody have any questions? Doesn't look like we have any real questions on that. And we're a little bit out of time. So we'll start with humidity next week. Sharon, don't you agree? And again, I'm speaking from experience because I'm the guy. I'm the guy that has to go out and get everything that you don't need first. And then that's why I have 47 fishing poles. And I bring 1 with me. Maybe 2. But there's 47 of them in my sports gear. Lures. How many lures do you need? Well, every one of us bring 100 each. We use 2 colors each day. I mean, we don't know how to keep it simple, but our reading today does. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We want to keep it simple. Still, I have a ton of rods. I needed them all, and this is before I went fishing. Once I went fishing and I realized, hey, you only really need this one. This is your best rod, and the rest of them never going to measure up, and you catch plenty of fish with it, and what are you going to do with the rest of those rods you have? And then you go to Jeff's house, Captain Jeff. He has 2 trash cans. Trash cans. Filled. We keep 4 of them on his boat to go fishing. Okay. Oh, kids, what are we doing? What's wrong with us? It's programming. Okay, it's programming. Um, where was I at? So humidity. Humidity. We'll be covering humidity next week. I want to do a little bit of it, a little bit scientifically. Let's discover what humidity really is. There's different kinds, and there's ways to measure it. And we'll show you a quick little system for measuring the humidity inside your tubs, okay, and inside the whole grow chamber as it is. So humidity is going to be super important. Next week we'll cover that, and then lighting. And lighting is more than beyond simple. Lighting is the simplest part of our setup, and everybody wants to make it. Everybody, especially if we come from a marijuana growing background. So how many lumens is there? Is it supposed to be a red light or a blue light? How many cycles? How many? It's like we love talking lighting and figuring out lighting. And is there a blooming cycle? And is there? We love it. I mean, I did, but there's zero complications with your lighting issues. You don't have to be like a lighting genius like Cleany has learned to be. Worms. We were talking about fishing. And we were talking about fishing. I want to say this real quick. This is a cute little thought. Well, it's actually brilliant. And then we're going to do our reading. Okay? The cut worm forgives the plow. William Blake. The cut worm forgives the plow. What the hell are you talking about? So a plow's going along. There's earthworm, there's a worm. And the worm gets cut in half by the plow. Is the worm pissed at the plow? If you're a worm, just put yourself in a worm's position. Would you be pissed at that plow? RX, have a great weekend. I'm going to order that up and get them sent to you. Partner in crime. Would the worm be mad? I don't know. Plow runs me over and cuts me in half. I don't know. The worm is one of the only creatures that grows from being cut. Now, this isn't every worm. Don't go getting all scientific on me, but you know there's a certain worms out there that this is true. Mysteriously, if you cut a worm into each cut half becomes a whole, and you have two worms. What is it and how the worm lives that allows it to grow from its pain? And how might we translate that as human beings? I like these kind of thoughts. I'm not even microdosing. Well, without looking too far, the worm is completely in touch with the earth. In fact, it eats earth. It lives in humus. It lives in soil. It has soil inside and out. Perhaps the secret to growing from our wounds is to live close to the earth. To live with our hearts and minds and bellies always in touch, both inside and out. With that, we will be larger. Perhaps when cut in two, it is a life of humility, of risking to be at one with our own soil, with that experience that allows us to heal and become something new. Pretty wormy, but pretty good. Pretty wormy, but it's really good. I'm going to do one more. I'm reading from, because we ran through the book of Four Agreements, and we're going to continue to work on those in practice, but I won't keep reading out of them day after day. We'll give it a break for a few months, and we're going to go back and we're going to hit that book again and make sure that we're practicing. but we're going to talk about it. And we're going to make sure we're practicing. Right now, I'm reading you some little thoughts and writings from the Book of Awakening. We've done this book a few times, and I always go back to it because there's such depth of poetry in the philosophy. Mark Nepo, he was dying of cancer. And I don't know the whole story, so I don't want to sit here and pretend I do, but I know he's a cancer survivor, and he references his cancer, fight against cancer and his healing in a few of these writings. And they're profound. Let me read this one to you with a couple of thoughts that I'm going to throw in. Okay? Giving up what no longer works. Remember, how long have I been, for the last few weeks at least, have I been really pushing, and I hate the word preach, but preaching, to be more simple, for us all to be more simple. Certainly the 4 steps are as simple as I can find. And simplifying my life, simplifying things, simplifying my possessions. I look at IG, because I have that page and I'm down to, I'm only going to post 2 or 3 things, and I got to really watch what I post. But I look at that, and 9/10 of the pictures that are put on IG and posted, 9/10, not the people I follow, but the other stuff, the random stuff that's out there, is people flashing materialism. Laura, it's like they're flashing their material. This is me on a yacht. This is me, with the newest style. This is me with the $700 sunglasses. I'm not judging. I'm not, because I'm moving away from judgment. I'm saying I don't want to be that guy, and I could be. That's all. I'm just saying I recognize I'm having an awareness to that, and I know I'm completely capable of that. I am. I have this just as human ego, and I had in my life strong attractions to materialism, because that outward sign showed you my success, but you didn't know what was happening inside. And that's true. So you could wear these trappings, and people thought you really had it together, because it was more important what they thought than having it together. It's craziness. And but we can fall there. And once we're in a canyon of that, often we don't even know it. We just keep clicking away and posting and consuming. And I don't want to tell the people that are posting, please stop. You're hurting yourself more than the person that's going to consume this, because that's not my point. It's not my place. I get one place a day. It's right here. I get one place a day where I'm just, hey, I'm going to tell you what I think and what I feel, what I've experienced. Being simple is so much better. Beyond biblical belief, would you write to me at the website and ask me that question? I'm not sure. I did get hats, but would you please write to me? And I'll be able to answer you better. Do you have stuff in your life that doesn't work? Do you have stuff in your life that doesn't work? No, I don't, not anymore. But I have. And be honest, if you do right now, you do. Of course. Of course. We have stuff that doesn't work, and we still hold on to it. Oh, I take that back. I do. I have a pressure washer. I do. There's this pressure washer. I bought it about 4 years ago. Brand new. Beautiful pressure washer. It was the best one. It had the highest PSI. The greatest thing ever. Pressure washed my driveway. Loved my driveway after pressure washing. This shiny, bright concrete. Put it away in the tool shed. Took it out the next spring or whatever. Went to open it up. And went to start it. It won't start. Come on, boom. Boom. I'm not very mechanical. I'm not. I drive, but I don't fix. 3 years ago, this happened. 3 years ago, I tried starting my pressure washer. About 2 years ago, I tried it again, and I was like, nope, it's still not starting. I didn't do anything different. I just kept pulling the same thing. I checked the spark plug. About 4 weeks ago, Brock cleaned out the tool shed. There's the pressure washer. I'm like, let's try it. Didn't start. I bet this pressure washer would be beautiful if it started because I'd use it. I would actually wash my driveway. And I haven't, for 4 years now, my pressure washer hasn't worked. I don't know how to fix it. And I haven't done a thing about it. I know there's simple, Badgie. It should be so simple. There's probably a kill switch somewhere. I can't find it. I don't know. Look at all these experts here. I don't know how to open a carburetor and clean the jets out. I'm not that guy, okay? I'm the guy that I'll just pull the thing again. Oh, it's still not working. What? And I hold on to it. Watch a YouTube. I'm glad all you guys have the answers. Okay? Oh, I know it's old gas. My point is that I haven't done anything different to change it. I've just held on to this thing that doesn't work. And if it worked, this particular thing, I would enjoy it. I would use it. It would clean my driveway. Like right now, my driveway's turning green in some spots, okay? It's got trichoderma, okay? I can't believe I'm telling you guys how stupid I can be. But this is me. Mashi, that's all I need is somebody to come over and fix it for me because I know I'm never going to fix it myself. My point is that I hold on to stuff that doesn't work. Okay? In this case, it's funny, but it's not because it's a perfect example. I hold on, and my driveway has tricur. It does. It's like, in the little crevices of the concrete, it's getting fungal. Like, I look at it, it's like, man, if only my pressure washer worked. And I have it is a nice brand. I forget what it is, but it's a good one. Anyways, I'm just saying, I know, Mushy. I'm just saying it. I'm glad I'm laughing at myself because at the same time, the old me was like, you're an idiot, fix that. What's wrong with you? And I'd spend a day in mental hell, pissed off at myself. And at the end of the day, it would still be sitting in the tool shed until I forgot about it. Giving up what no longer works. I'm not giving up the pressure washer. We can get it fixed. Okay? Fred, I do. Trust me, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not. Plus, I refuse to. I'm not even going to look at the YouTube video. I'm going to find somebody that's going to do it for me. I've already made up my mind. Burning your way to the center is the loneliest fire of all. You'll know when you arrived, when you have nothing left to burn. You're burning your way to your center. Just like I'm telling you guys, I'm burning my way to the center. I'm telling you guys this stuff. I don't want to hold on to stuff that doesn't work. I want to either make it work or get rid of it. I got to make it work or get rid of it. Now that I said all of this, I have to make a commitment by the end of this show. So I have to make a commitment to get that pressure washer fixed. I do. It can't sit out there now. Not now. And then I'll have to come up with another one. What else do I have that doesn't work? And this was just a mechanical thing. We have these emotional things that don't work. We have relationships that don't work. We have thoughts and actions that don't work. Much more important than a pressure washer machine. At first, burning your way to the center sounds somber. But from Moses to Buddha to Jesus, the deepest among us have all shown that living is a process of constantly paring down until we carry only what is essential. I'm simplifying today. I am. I'm simplifying the way I think. I'm simplifying the way I treat people. I'm simplifying my expectations. I'm paring it down. And it feels better to live a life pared down than one filled with all of this other stuff. It's the same in the human journey as in the natural world. As the center grows stronger, what once was protective turns into a covering, like tree bark or snake skin, that is now in the way. And sooner or later, we as spirits growing in bodies are faced with old skin, like rags on sticks. This old skin, I have old skin. The last couple of years, I have skin. I remember when I was taking care of my mom. I couldn't even let the cat near her because her skin was tissue paper. It got so thin, just the skin in the human body, because we're losing collagen and elasticity and everything. And the slightest thing would cause a scratch to bleed. And then now that we're wrapping gauze, and now this is from a cat landing on you. And I'm like, I never thought that that would be me. Well, this wasn't a cat, but see this right there? And these right here? This was just I rubbed up against something accidentally. I didn't even realize it, and all of a sudden I look down and there's blood on my sleeve, and I'm like, what? What happened? I don't even, just bumped against something. My skin is turning tissue. I'm getting warts where there weren't any before. Back of my hands, those old age liver spots popping up on me. And I'm like, wait, I don't want this. I want to just know. Give me back that regular old skin. My legs used to be hairier on the calves. Now I look down and I go like, your legs are starting to look like those guys at old folks' homes' legs. Yeah, where'd this bruise come from? I never even felt it. I'm not kidding. And at first it frustrates me. It does. Who wants to get that? Who wants to get there? And I'm like, you know what? If this is lighting, if this is rags, and my skeleton is the stick holding the rags, all it's doing is lighting my way to being a better person till I flame out. My goodness. I'm okay with my skin. Holding on to those thoughts of you're looking ugly, you're looking old, you're looking cray papery, they're not healthy, they're not good for my brain. They don't work. This one will work for me. This one's gonna work. I can replace those thinkings with the new and better and healthy ways to look at it. My skin is like rags on a stick to light my way into a deeper and deeper inner world where the forces of God make me one. We can say that with our weight. We can say that with our depression. We can say we're holding on to something we don't need. We'll replace it with a different thought. We'll replace it with a different thought. Get rid of the stuff that doesn't work. The things that are keeping you anxious and depressed and filled with negative self-images. They're things that weren't working. When faced with the need to keep going inward, we're confronted with difficult kinds of life choices. Here's a difficult life choice. Like carving up your grandmother's table for firewood to keep your loved ones warm. Or leaving a job that has been safe and fulfilling in order to feel alive again. Or burning an old familiar sense of self because it's gotten so thick you can't feel the rain. In truth, always needing to stay immediate by removing what is no longer real is the working definition of sacrifice, service. Removing the things that are no longer real. We hold on to things that don't work, that are no longer real. When we remove those, it gives us space to serve. Removing them was the sacrifice as the preamble to the service. Giving up with reverence and compassion what no longer works in order to stay closer to that which does is sacred. Cannot agree more. And that's our journey. Look into your situation. What do you have that is no longer working? And you don't have to go all the way to the tool shed to find something. Let's do a giveaway for the week. I'm going to send somebody 7 grams of something. Give me a number between 1 and 50, kids. Give everybody a chance. 1 and 50. Go. Give me a number between 1 and 50. Give me a number between 1 and 50. 3 numbers at a time on one line will work. Give me a number between... Now, if you've won in the last week, I'll probably ask you... I'll probably pass you by. But this person that just won has not won in a week. Happy to send to Sharon M. Sharon M was the first one on my screen. Sharon, may I be Sharon with you? You knew that was coming. Sharon, send me your address, my love. Sharon M. Sharon sends me her address, and we send to her a little 7-pack. You guys, please, I'm keeping my packaging sending out down. We had I have a situation, I just have to keep my risks low. I have a situation right now that's very risky out there, and I'm white knuckling, holding on, hoping it all works out. But I don't want to not be available to serve and help you guys. So we're doing that still, just at a smaller volume. Okay, less eyes on me at the post office when I'm dropping stuff off. Right now is the better. Okay, have a great weekend. I mean that. Thank you for being here. You guys make it. I came this morning heavy heart, heavy head, and I'm leaving some of the stuff behind that doesn't work. Some of that stuff that doesn't work, I can get rid of it for today. I'm not carrying it. And I'm going to go have a lighter head, lighter heart, and I'm going to get through today. Sharon, if you could email me, it would be better. IG, it tracks messages, and especially mine. I think they, as we all know, they don't like me. So I just took that personal. As we know, the algorithm has my account targeted. Let's put it that way. I didn't. It's it's not about me. So, love you guys. I mean that sincerely. I wish I could give every single one of you. Sharon, would somebody give Sharon my email address? Somebody shoot Sharon my email address, please. And thank you one more time, you guys. I know I'm here to serve, but I gotta tell you, you guys are serving me. You guys serve old pops, so you guys give me the fuel to keep my things going and keep pumping forward. Each and every one of you guys give me a tank of fuel. And then I also see how much you're helping each other. That's the thing that, I mean, I can't even begin to explain how beautiful it is to see the interactions. And I only know the tip of the iceberg. You guys have a whole iceberg of stuff that you're doing out there for each other and with each other. So keep it up. Thank you. But beyond biblical belief, thank you. And midlife and Mike Barabal and one dude and married Michael and Exception and Kimberly and Bud. You too. Have a great weekend. And Sharon M. Just send me an email, doll. Mr. Marmars and Clean Grow and Herbie Von Werby Kapop. That's it. And Mushy. No, I'm not going to do that, Mushy. I'm actually going to get this thing fixed, I hope, this weekend. Laura, please have a divine day. Hendrix, it's all about the ripples, am I right? Trenty, love you, man. Nippy, this crew is the best. And one dude, let's not do that here, okay, bro? Catzilla, Clean Grow, Lotta, love you weekend, love you dear, have a great weekend. Jesus Christ in Australia, Sarah Bear and Joe D's and Jesus Christ in Mushmouth, thank you too. And Geroro and Michael Patterson, we must keep laughing. Okay, Mama, how you doing, Mr. Phillips? Lotta, you know I love you. Pacers and Pidgey Page and Jesus Christ in Australia. Have a great weekend, bro. Neo Simplex, Bill D, JWO and him too. Kimberly, stay warm, midlife, and Clean Grow. Clean Grow at 6, huh? That's what it takes? You crack me up. Mike Barball, Sue, hello, Little Meyer, Herbie, and Verosect. You're welcome, young whatever. Lotta, hair care. You're see you, dude. Omeg G. Sharon and Badgie, remember to get a FAE. Anthony, I know. Trust me. K Mama, Jonathan K. All day, Mr. Marmar. Say hi to the pop. Midlife. D. Anderson, married Michael Wazzy, I love you. Badgie, you too. Midlife, Michael. Pops, peace, love. We tried that. It doesn't work. Midlife. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys here. Brock Monday, me Tuesday, and you know where I am this weekend. See you, and yes, thank you, veterans, Mushmouth. Pops out? Wait, we have to do 4 things. We have to be impeccable with our word. We have to not take things personally, like I did 8 times today, but I fixed 6 of them. And I'm going to go back and fix the other 2, if I can remember them. And don't take things, don't have expectations or make assumptions, and do your best. Do your best all weekend.